The Argentine winning squad returned to the nation's capital, Buenos Aires, early this morning, and it was amid fanfare and cheers, celebrations. You had millions of people littered around the streets of Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, in anticipation of the team's open bus parade for the trophy itself. Lionel Messi stepped out of the plane first alongside the coach of the team, Lionel Scaloni. Well, two Lionels, you want to put it that way, but it's all about Argentina at this point in time. For the Argentines, it was definitely a well-deserved tournament considering how remarkable they started the campaign following that shock loss and how they were able to dig deep to get a victory against Mexico and Poland to book a place in the round of 16, where they were also able to dispatch the Aussies before knocking out the Netherlands on penalties in the quarterfinals, trashing Croatia, in the semi-final, and not forgetting the final where they started like a house on fire before France made a comeback. So Lionel Messi and the company back in Argentina, and as you can see on your screen, Messi with hoisting the trophy amid fanfare and cheers for the players. Now, the government of Argentina declared today a bank holiday in Argentina so that people can celebrate with the Argentine squad, and this is definitely a day to remember for Argentina. 36 years after a diminutive figure donning the number 10 jersey known as Diego Maradona was able to inspire them to victory in Mexico, you have Lionel Messi doing the same thing, also donning the number 10 jersey, but this time around in the Middle East, Qatar precisely. Well, let's move away from there, but still talking about the World Cup. Let me give you a comprehensive breakdown of the prize money, and the reason for that is because there's so many figures out there that are contradicting. So let's give you a clear picture of what the prize money breakdown is for this year's World Cup in Qatar. A total of $440 million was given out by FIFA, and here is the breakdown. For all teams that qualified, that's all participating teams, FIFA initially gave them $1.5 million, and that's what you can call as a preparatory fee for them to prepare for the World Cup itself. Each of the 32 teams got $1.5 million before the tournament as a means to prepare them adequately for the tournament itself. Now, for teams that crashed out of the group stages, they got $9 million. Now, that $9 million is for teams that crashed out of the group stages, and these teams include Qatar, the host nation. You have Iran, you have Wales, you have Ghana, you have Belgium, Uruguay, Canada, Cameroon, Costa Rica, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Denmark, Serbia, Tunisia, Ecuador, and Germany. All 16 teams that crashed out of the group stages got $9 million, which is the minimum they can get as a result of their participation at the group stages. Now, for the round of 16, that's the knockout rounds. For teams that qualified and got knocked out by the round of 16, they went home with an additional $4 million in terms of that level. So round of 16 teams went home with $13 million, and $13 million for those teams. They include Japan, Spain, United States of America, Poland, Korea, that's South Korea, Switzerland, Senegal, and Australia. These 8 teams went home with $13 million as a result of getting to the round of 16. Now, for the quarterfinal, that's teams that made the quarterfinal and exited at that stage. They went home with $17 million guaranteed fee from FIFA. And these teams include Brazil, the Netherlands, England, Portugal. Talking about teams that exited at the quarterfinal stages, all 4 of them went home with $17 million minimum. Now, for the semi-final teams, that's the semi-final list, all 4 of them were guaranteed $25 million. So the 4th place team, which is Morocco, went home with $25 million as a result of being a semi-finalist. Now, the 3rd place team, which is Croatia, went home with $27 million. And the reason for that is they are guaranteed $25 million as a result of being a semi-finalist, but they got an additional $2 million for coming 3rd. Remember, those who lose out in the semi-finals tend to play each other in the 3rd place match, and the winner gets an additional $2 million. That explains the difference between Morocco getting $25 million and Croatia getting $27 million. Now, for the finalists, if you are into the finals, you are guaranteed $30 million. That's an increment of $5 million from your semi-finalists. So France, who were the defending champions at the time, went home with $30 million as a result of being a runner-up to the winner. Now, for the winner, there's an additional $12 million for winning the trophy. Remember, I said finalists are guaranteed $30 million minimum. But if you go further to win the title, you get an additional $12 million. And that explains why Argentina, the champions of the world, are going on with $42 million guaranteed from FIFA. Now, this is a $4 million increment from what was obtainable in 2018 when France won and went home with $38 million as its prize money. So Argentina getting a $4 million increase and going home with $42 million. In total, FIFA gave out $440 million. Lots of monies for these teams, it must be said. Now, for those who do not know, the monies do not go to the players in that sense. Rather, it goes to the nation's, federation. That's the member federation of FIFA. And these federations use these monies to develop football infrastructure in their various nations. Well, let's talk NBA now, and we'll have to start with the Los Angeles Lakers. This was a Lakers side that missed virtually all its stars, but they were able to, get onto the court against the Phoenix Suns, and that was a blowout loss for them as, the stars were missing. 130 to 104 points that ended in favor of the Suns. Chris Paul, known as the point guard, top scored for the Suns with 28 points, while DeAndre Ayton had 21 points and 11 rebounds. Now, the win for the Suns makes it 3 successive wins for them, following 5 runs of defeat, and it means that they've turned the corner around. Now, this was a clash that saw all the big boys for both sides missing. You had 6 players missing for the Phoenix Suns. Devin Booker was out due to a right groin soreness. You had Cameron Johnson with a right meniscus tear. Cameron Payne as well battling with a right foot strain in the mix. For the Los Angeles Lakers, Dennis Schroeder top scored with 30 points. Kendrick Nunn 17 points. Lonnie Walker the fourth, as well as Thomas Bryant, had 16 points apiece. But the Lakers were missing their big three. LeBron James sat out due to a left ankle soreness. You had Anthony Davis, who is out for multiple weeks due to a right foot soreness. Russell Westbrook, who has been performing well off the bench in recent times, was also out due to a left foot soreness, while you had Austin Reeves out due to a right ankle sprain. So it was an on-demand, Lakers. Even the Suns were short-handed, but the Suns were still able to get the win. Well, the loss condemns the Lakers to 13 wins and 17 losses to the start of the season, while for the Phoenix Suns, they are now 19 wins and 12 losses to the start of the season. The Suns will be taking on the Wizards next, while for the Lakers, well, it is a matchup, for them, really. Well, let's move away from there now and talk about the Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo was on fire. 42 points on right there. He dropped for them. Jrue Holiday stifling, Zion Williamson to just 18 points as the Bucks ran out winners against the New Orleans Pelicans. 128 to 119 points that ended. Jrue Holiday had 18 points and 11 assists, as well as doing a very good job in terms of keeping Zion Williamson quiet. You had Brook Lopez scoring 30 points for the Bucks, as Pat Connaughton also added 11 points. The good news for the Bucks had to be Joe Ingles, who made his debut for them after being sidelined for over 11 months due to an anterior cruciate ligament damage in his right knee. So it's good to see him back on the court. While for the Pelicans, you had CJ McCollum with 31 points, Jonas Valanciunas with 37 points and 18 rebounds. And as I said earlier, it was Zion Williamson who had 18 points in there. It is also the first home loss for the Pelicans in the last 8 games. And it means that, Ingram has also compounded their injury list because he had to leave with, a great left toe contusion as well. Well, the Pelicans are 18 wins and 12 losses to the start of the season, while for the Bucks, they are 22 wins and 8 losses to the start of the season.